A 9,000-year-old limestone mask pulled from the West Bank looks so real it's almost creepy. In Libya, archaeologists digging in 2024 found a faceless mask hidden in a Roman cistern, and in Greece, a gold mask's true owner and purpose has been lost to history. These are mysterious ancient masks found with unknown origins. Back in 2018, looters in Hebron, right in the southern West Bank, not far from the Judean desert, dug up a 9,000-year-old stone mask. The Israel Antiquities Authority's anti-robbery unit swooped in and recovered it, and now it's at the Israel Museum in Jerusalem. The thing is carved from limestone, and honestly, it's insane how lifelike it looks. You've got cheekbones and nose, even teeth carved in, made with nothing but basic tools. And there are 4 holes around it, so it could have been worn on someone's head during ceremonies or stuck on a pole for public display. The mask comes from a really important period in human history, the Neolithic, when people were starting to quit their nomadic hunting and gathering lifestyle and settle down to farm. That shift didn't just change food, it changed culture. Rituals got more complex, sacred art popped up everywhere, and ancestor worship became a big deal. Archaeologists think that masks like this were tied to those practices. What's crazy is that only about 16 masks like this are known from the area, so it's super rare. Imagine some ancient craftsman spending hours shaping a human face, polishing it, making it look real 9,000 years ago, just to use in rituals or ceremonies. Now let's travel to Libya on the Mediterranean coast to the ancient city of Ptolemais. Archaeologists from the University of Warsaw returned to the city in 2023 after a 13-year break because of the civil war, and in June of 2024 they came across something really strange. Hidden inside a cistern of a late Roman-era house, they found a mask carved from mortar. It's a human face, but the features are minimal. Kind of eerie. Nobody knows exactly why it was there. Some think it might have been meant to ward off evil. Others say it could have had something to do with Libyan traditions. The house itself was impressive. It had a rainwater collection system. Archaeologists also found stone basins near the entrance, probably used for offerings or taxes. The mask just adds another layer of mystery. Why place a face in a cistern? Back in 1876, an archaeologist named Heinrich Schliemann was digging in Mycenae in southern Greece and found this gold mask in a tomb. It's a full human face with a beard, mustache, big ears, all hammered out of a single piece of gold. People thought it might be Agamemnon, the king of the Iliad, but the mask is probably older than the stories, so we'll probably never know for sure. What's wild is how lifelike it looks, considering it's thousands of years old. It's clearly a human face, not just, a round plate-looking thing with eye holes and a mouth carved out. There are a bunch of similar masks found in the area, but this one's become famous because it's all shiny and gold. No one knows exactly why it was made. Was it meant to honor the dead person buried there? Was it supposed to scare spirits away? Or maybe it had some ceremonial purpose. It's been sitting in the National Archaeological Museum in Athens for a while now. The idea that someone made this tiny gold face thousands of years ago and it survived all this time is pretty cool to think about. And the fact we don't know who it really belonged to makes it even stranger. In the 80s, archaeologists digging in Sichuan, China found a bunch of huge bronze masks in a place called Sanxingdui. Some have giant staring eyes, long ears, and crazy headpieces that make them look almost like aliens. Others are simpler but still weirdly intense. These masks are more than 3,000 years old and come from the Shu civilization, which was really good with bronze, but no one knows what these masks were actually for. Some think they were for religious ceremonies, maybe to honor gods or ancestors. Others say they could represent mythical creatures. The masks are totally different from anything else anyone has ever seen, which just makes them even more mysterious. The city they came from was a major cultural center. Every time archaeologists dig there, they find more strange stuff that doesn't fit with anything else in Chinese history. Standing in front of one of these masks, it's hard not to feel a little creeped out. They're huge, they're from thousands of years ago, plus you don't really know why they were made. Way back around 3100 BCE in a city called Uruk in what's now Iraq, someone carved a face out of white marble. It's called the Mask of Warka, and it's thought to be Inanna, the Sumerian goddess of love, war, and fertility. The face is simple, but it's so perfect and striking in that simplicity. High cheekbones, soft eyebrows, and the faintest hint of a nose. Because the nose got chipped off who knows when. Actually, it kind of looks like an ancient version of the Michael Myers mask, which also means it sort of looks like William Shatner. But I digress. This mask is one of the first real attempts humans made to capture a face in 3 dimensions. No one really knows what it was for. Maybe it was part of a statue in a temple, maybe it was used in rituals. It survived thousands of years though, was stolen in 2003, but thankfully later resurfaced. Way back 7,000 to 8,000 years ago in northern China, at an archaeological site called Beifudi, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, people were making some of the very first carved masks. These masks were made of clay and shaped like humans and animals, cats, pigs, monkeys. Some had noses and mouths sticking out and holes for the eyes so you could actually wear them. Archaeologists found them near platforms in what looked like small altars, which makes them think these masks were used in rituals or ceremonies. Maybe they were trying to talk to spirits, maybe they were part of a performance or a festival. No one knows for sure. Kinda eerie picturing someone back then holding one of these masks, or let alone wearing it. Imagine a tiny clay pig face staring at you while everyone dances around a fire. I mean, that's just a weekend out camping for me, but placing myself thousands of years ago at this mysterious time in history, it'd be pretty creepy. Between 800 and 1600 CE, people in what's now the southeastern United States made tiny masks out of bone, copper, and shells. Archaeologists call them long-nosed God Maskettes. They were small enough to be worn as earrings, but their designs are anything but simple. Each one has a long, pointy nose, big round eyes, and sometimes other details that make them look kinda eerie. They look a bit like mini plague doctor masks. They were part of the Mississippian culture, which had a lot of ceremonies and rituals, but nobody really knows what the masks were for. Some think they represented a mythical hero called Redhorn. Others think they might have been worn in ceremonies to connect with spirits or show power. The masks are usually found in burials though, which just makes them even creepier. Deep in the jungles of Belize, there's a Maya temple called Lamanai, and on it sits a giant limestone face that's about 13 feet tall. It looks almost alive staring out from the temple wall. Nobody really knows why the Maya built this massive thing. Was it just decoration, or was there a deeper meaning behind it? Probably, but your guess is as good as mine. Unless you're an archaeologist, in which case your guess is better. I mean, with the Maya though, it feels like there's always more going on than meets the eye. The face is super symmetrical, which fits the Maya obsession with balance and design, but the huge scale makes it feel kinda eerie, like it's watching those who come near. The temple is buried under thick jungle too, so for a long time people didn't even know this was there. Standing in front of it now, it's impossible not to feel a little tiny and out of place. So I've heard, I've never been there. An ancient mask has finally come home to Mexico after a crazy 64-year journey. The Olmec cave mask is massive, 2,000 pounds, depicting a jaguar god with huge oval eyes, flaring nostrils, and a gaping mouth. Authorities only figured out it had been looted in May of 2024 after decades of confusion, and a joint investigation by Manhattan prosecutors and Homeland Security finally tracked it down. The people who stole it smashed it into pieces so it could be smuggled more easily. And for almost 60 years, pieces of the mask ended up scattered in museums and private collections across the US, including the Metropolitan Museum of Art, before finally being seized from a private collector. This mask isn't just art, it's a symbol of the Olmecs, often called the mother culture of Mesoamerica. Back in 2022, archaeologists working at the Maya site of Chochkitam in Guatemala came across a jade mosaic mask buried in a looted pyramid tomb. The discovery was part of the Homil archaeological project led by Francisco Estrada Belli of Tulane University. What makes this mask so unusual is that it wasn't carved from a single block, it was pieced together from interlocking sections of jade that had to be carefully reassembled in the lab. The tomb also contained large jade plaques, ceramic artifacts, and human bones, some carved with hieroglyphs. Carbon dating placed the burial around 350 CE, during the early Classic period. Researcher Alex Tocco-Vannin helped analyze the inscriptions and found one bone that shows the buried Maya king holding the head of the very same deity represented by the mask. This deity was a manifestation of the Maya storm god, a figure tied to both power and destruction. Estrada Belli later commented, "The Maya never failed to amaze me. Now we know quite a bit more about early Maya history." I've been your host, James. I'll catch you, yes you specifically, next time.